Okay, sorry, I almost forgot to record. So the first page was just on our adverbs telling how, where, when, and how often. Remember, an adverb usually describes a verb. Okay? So they tell how something is done, when something is done, where something is done, or how often. So on this first page, we had to underline the adverb in the sentence, and then on the line, we had to write how, when, where, or how often. We did the first two together the other day. Ahead was our adverb in number 1, and that was where. She jumped ahead. That tells us where. And in number 2, eagerly was our adverb, and that was how. How she worked eagerly. Now we are on number 3. Nola finally found the solution to her problem. First off, what is our verb? Molly? Found. What is our adverb? What needs to be underlined, Rochelle? What? Yes, it is finally. You finally found it. And is that how, when, where, or how often? Mark? When? When did you find it? Finally. So you should have when on the line. Thank you. Number 4. She had never achieved such an honor. What is our verb? Mark? Achieved. So what is our adverb? What is ascribing? What is describing achieved, Molly? Never. Never should be underlined, and is never telling us how, when, where, or how often. Rochelle? How often? She had never done it. That's telling us how often. In this case, it was coincidentally never. But you should have how often on the line. And finally, for this section, Nola dreamily imagined her parents congratulating her. What is our verb? Olive, what's our verb? What is the verb? No. What is the verb, Landon? Imagine. What is the adverb, Evan? No. Imagined is the verb, which we just said, Evan. What is the adverb? Dreamily. And is dreamily describing how she imagined, when she imagined, where she imagined, or how often? Well, I wasn't asking you, but Landon, how? Are there any questions on those first 5? When I'm looking for an adverb, I always find the verb first, and then that helps me find the adverb. And then you just have to think, is it telling you how, where, when, or how often? If there are not any questions on that first 5, I'm going to move down. And these are conjunctive adverbs. Personally, I think conjunctive adverbs are harder than regular adverbs. That's just my own personal opinion. Conjunctive adverbs connect words and phrases to make what the writer is saying more clear. They often transition from one idea to the next. Conjunctive adverbs include words like therefore, however, and similarly. We did 2 together the other day. The first one we did was Katie won the science prize. However, she wasn't there to get the award. However was our conjunctive adverb. Number 2, she had never received an honor before. Therefore, she worked very hard. We are now on to number 3. She had just about given up on winning the prize. Blank, her last experiment was exceptional. What would you put there? Blank, my goodness, I cannot speak. Blank, her last experiment was exceptional. Julian? However, so she was going to give up. However, it was exceptional, meaning it ended up being really good. I agree with that. She has many new ideas. Blank, she will try for future science fairs. She has many new ideas. Blank, she will try for future science fairs. Rochelle? Therefore, I agree with that. I have lots of ideas. Therefore, in the future, I'm going to try to be in more science fairs. I agree with that. Thank you. And finally, for conjunctive adverbs, Adam was very encouraging. Katie enjoyed talking with him. Adam was very encouraging. Blank. Katie enjoyed talking with him. Landon? However would be contrasting. That'd be like if it said Adam was very mean. However, Katie still enjoyed talking to him. However would be a contrast. We want not a contrast. Ella? It is therefore. He's really encouraging that therefore she wants to talk to him. Therefore is a common one for sure. So you should have had however, therefore, however, therefore. All right. Next, we are on to using adverbs on our second page. This one, it gave you the adverb in parentheses, and you had to write a new sentence putting it in. We did two together. We did number 1, Roger went to sleep one night, and we changed it to Roger went to sleep early one night. And we also did number 5 together. He had no idea what he had just seen, and we changed that to he really had no idea what he had just seen. Now we are moving on to number 2. He was dreaming of time machines and space capsules when he awoke. We need to put the word suddenly in there. Can someone please tell me where I should put suddenly? Mark? Well, okay, so you said put it in the same spot, though. You just said it 2 different ways. Is that what you just did? Oh, okay. So it needs to go after he / before suddenly. So he was dreaming of time machines and space capsules when he suddenly awoke. Awoke is our verb, and our adverb is suddenly, which tells us when. When did he awake? No, how he. That tells us how. How did he wake? Suddenly. He saw a red line streaking across the yellow moon. Our adverb is quickly. Would someone like to tell me what they wrote for their new sentence? What did we write for our new sentence? Olive.
I said he saw a red line streaking quickly across the yellow moon.
I could live with that. He saw a red line streaking quickly across the yellow moon. He saw a red line streaking quickly across the yellow moon. Or you could have said he saw a, what did I put, read line? A red line quickly streaking across the yellow moon. Personally, I think for this sentence, you could put quickly before streaking or after streaking, and I think it sounds fine either way. So if you put either of those, totally fine with that. I think it sounds good either way. Next, Roger was amazing. He leapt out of bed. And the word is therefore. Therefore is a conjunctive adverb, means it's connecting ideas. So where should the word therefore be? Someone tell me your new sentence. Landon?
Roger was amazing.
It's actually supposed to say amazed. I don't know why I have amazing. But anyways, that's okay. Roger was amazed. Therefore, he leapt out of bed. You're connecting he was amazed to leaping out of bed. He leapt out of bed because he was amazed. So, therefore, he leapt out of bed. It's definitely supposed to be amazed and not amazing. That's my bad. That's a mistake from when I made it. My bad. Are there any questions on this one? All you had to do was read the sentence, throw in the word where you thought it sounded good. And like I said, for like number 3, quickly could have gone in 2 places, and either one of them would have said fine, would have been fine, whichever one you chose to put. The following page, review adverbs. You had to do a couple different things on this page. First, you had to identify the adverb that describes each verb and highlight it. And then on the line, you had to write how, when, where, or how often. Some of you forgot to highlight your word, meaning you lost like 0.5 for this page. We did 2 together. Julie stared intently at the television. Intently describes stared, and that is how. We also did number 3, which connected ideas because therefore is a conjunctive adverb. It was raining, therefore the kids played inside. We need to do number 2. The game was going to start soon. Mark. Highlight soon. What is our verb? Start. So what does, I don't want to underline it. I want to highlight it. So soon tells us how, when, where, or how often. Nolan, what does it tell us? When? When's it going to start? It's going to start soon. Number 4, she played with her friends daily. What is our verb? Rochelle, what's our verb? Played. And what word is describing played, Mark? Daily. And does daily tell us how, when, where, or how often, Molly? How often? How often did she play with her friends? Daily. Good job. And remember, the adverb is a lot of times before the verb or a lot of times after the verb, but in this situation, it's a little bit farther behind, and that's okay. An adverb can be in different places in the sentence. And lastly, they clapped loudly for the team. What is our verb in this sentence, Kylan? What is the verb? That's the adverb. What's the verb? Clapped. Clapped is the verb. Loudly is the adverb. Does loudly describe how they clapped, when they clapped, where they clapped, or how often, Zach? How. How did they clap? Oh, I just spelled Howie. How did they clap? They clapped loudly. Are there any questions on this page, my lovely friends? Going once, going twice? If not, we are heading to our final page, which is always our connecting to writing when we read our page or we read our paragraph and we fix what needs to be fixed. So, Julio wrote I'm not perfect. Julio wrote a paragraph about something strange that happened. Read his paragraph and look at any revisions he should make. Then answer the questions below. The strange window. The scientist stood on the street and carefully looked around. And then he walked towards the corner. At the entrance to the building, he quickly stopped and looked around. As he went up the front steps, the scientist casually brushed off the front of his coat. When he finally pushed the buzzer, he did it confidently. After waiting a while, he roughly placed the palm of his hand on the glass door. Mysteriously enough, his hand passed through the glass. A woman who observed the use of this amazing invention retreated quickly back to her apartment. So that's a weird thing that happened. Number 1, which of the following is the best way to rewrite sentence 3 to use a more descriptive adverb? So sentence 3, at the entrance of the building, he quickly stopped and looked around. Should it be, at the entrance of the building, he abruptly stopped and looked around? At the entrance of the building, he slowly stopped and looked around? At the entrance of the building, he happily stopped and looked around? Or make no changes? What do we think? I want you to hold up your fingers. If you think it's 1, or if you think it's A, put up 1 finger. If you think it's 2, put up 2 fingers. If you think it's 3, put up 3. C, or if you think it's C, put up 3 fingers. If you think it is D, put up D. I am seeing some different ones. I personally think that it's abruptly stopped or slowly stopped. I think would be the best choices. I think either A or B would work. I don't know who he's what?
It's not quickly, so why wouldn't you change it to slowly? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, can I talk? Thanks. So he quickly stopped, but he's at the entrance of the building. Like, who quickly stops? Like, that's an odd way to say something. Like, of course you're stopping. You're at the entrance of the building. So abruptly stopped. I kind of goes with quickly, but then he slowly stopped. I don't think happily fits at all. And it's telling us we need to make a change. So if you put A or B, personally, I think you'd be fine. That's my personal opinion, okay? If you think there's a reason that it should be slowly, that's fine. If you think it's a reason it should be abruptly, that's fine. I do not think it is C. I don't think happily stopped. I don't know, that's no one says happily stopped, and I don't want it to be D because it's telling us how can we write a new thing, okay? So A or B, I would personally be fine with. Now, what change, if any, should be made to sentence 6? After waiting a while, he roughly placed the palm of his hand on the glass door. Should we change glass to hard, After waiting a while, he roughly placed the palm of his hand on the hard door, roughly to quickly. After a while, he quickly placed his palm on the hand of the glass door, roughly to loudly. After a while, he loudly placed his hand on the glass door. Or D, make no changes. Same thing. If you think it's A, put up 1 finger. If you think it's B, put up 2 fingers. If you think it's C, put up 3 fingers. If you think it's D, put up 4 fingers. I do not think it is hard, or I do not think it is 1, because it's a glass door, and that's important to know that it's a glass door because his hand passes through it. So I do not think it is that one. I agree with most of you that are saying B. I personally would say after a while he quickly placed the palm of his hand on the glass door. But you could, I mean, I don't think it should be roughly because like it's a glass door. Who like smacks their hand on a glass door? That wouldn't be safe. So I would put B. Are there any questions on any of these pages? Remember, you can use this on your quiz tomorrow. Please do your personal best on your quiz tomorrow. This is your final grammar quiz for the year, just in case you're wondering. Like, we might do some review next, the final week of school, do some Kahoots on grammar and stuff, but this is your final grammar quiz because next week we're only doing spelling. So tomorrow, be sure to do your personal best. I will post this recording, of course. If there are no questions, you're free to get off at home. I will see you all later. And you, friends, we have 25 minutes until